What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Across the Board, sponsored by MoneyBall Metrics. You have your normal, everyday host, myself, Alpha Dog Bets, as well as JD from Line Movers. But as you guys can see, and as you guys probably already know, our resident Friday guest, Moneyline Hacks, we have Joe, our UFC MMA specialist. Joe, we always start with you when you're our special guest. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I always get excited to have you on here. I know you had a big week last week, so we're going to get into that in just a moment. Before we do, JD, how are you, my friend?
Man, I am actually doing great, man. Like everything is going very well. So, yeah.
I mean, everybody knows that. If you're following Line Movers / JD and you see all the winners he's putting out, what's the streak at now? 35-11, I believe, JD?
34-12.
34-12. I screwed you on the one there. Apologies. But you've been absolutely on fire. I believe that's over 80%. Keep it going. The people are here to see it, and they love the picks you're giving out. Before we get going, we have our guy, Nick Castrucci, who's here every single day. Happy Friday, fellas. 3 goats, 1 show. Who has it better than us? I agree, bro. We appreciate you tuning in, as always. Also have Drago here saying what's up to Joe. He is the man. I completely agree. He's one of the best in the business. So when he gives you guys these picks, this analysis, you better tune in. Joe, let's get a recap of how you did last week. Tell the people how it went.
Last week was pretty great. We actually gained 8 units on the UFC card. I thought it would go over 4.5 rounds, but it didn't. In the 4th round, Adesanya got choked out by Duplessis, so the play was to go over 4.5, and Duplessis kind of cut that short. It was heading that way, but all of a sudden Duplessis got his 2nd submission in the UFC, which was also the same submission he got last time on Darren Till, which was a face crank. It wasn't a rear naked. It was over the jaw, and Izzy tapped to the pain. He didn't want his jaw to break. But overall, last week was very good. 8 units on UFC, 10 units on MMA with PFL combined. It was just another stellar week, adding to our total unit count.
We love to hear that. The people love it. You've been on fire, and you keep delivering the goods. We have a bunch of comments today. GQ is here. Happy Friday. We appreciate you tuning in, GQ. Alex Shear, the legend himself, is calling us the legends. Mean a lot coming from you, brother. And college football week 0 is here. It is the best time of the year. We are getting into more football. But, Joe, I watched those fights as well with the Adesanya versus DDP. He got that neck, man. He looked like he was done. He was exhausted. I thought he was out of energy. He had that second win. He came in there, and it was super impressive. But you had a phenomenal card, like you said, as you seem to always do for us. So, guys, if you always want to find Joe's MMA picks, you know where to find them. They are going to be inside the Moneyball Metrics Discord, so make sure you guys are going into there, and we have some more about the Moneyball Metrics Discord to come later. This week, Joe, we have the big fight between Jared Cannonier and Caio Borralho. I'm sure I pronounced that terribly, but what do you have for that one? That's the main event for this Saturday night.
First, I'd like to note, last week we did hit our big prop of plus 700, Rosenstrike to go to a decision. That was a big one, and that helped us get halfway towards that 10-unit mark gain that we had last week. But for this week, Jared Cannonier versus Borralho, it looks like it's going to be another decision or long fight for me. I actually have this fight to go to decision plus 100. I think Cannonier, he was earlier known for his knockout power until he got to the upper echelon of contenders. Now he's slowed down a bit, and he goes to decision quite a bit often. I think Caio Borralho is the real deal, and I think the people that he matches with what Cannonier's been facing, this elite level, the Sean Stricklands, the Israel Adesanyas. So I think Caio Borralho's coming, and I think that he is maybe not – this isn't too early for him, but I feel like it's a good test, and he's never actually been in the – 4th and 5th rounds. So additionally, I would like to sprinkle a little on Cannonier finish in the later rounds. I think that's a good pick as well. And, I mean, maybe not the finish, but at least maybe fight to end in rounds 4 or 5. That would be a good choice. But yeah, I'm thinking that this is going to go to a decision.
I'm going to be tailing you on that. You've been giving out a ton of winners, so I definitely am going to be on that play with you. I don't know a ton about Borrelio. I do know a lot about Cannonier. You said it perfectly. Back in the day, this guy was banging and clanging and knocking people out left and right. We just haven't seen that from him recently, so I could see this going to a decision for sure, and I will be riding that play with you. Joe, I know we have some PFL this week. I know we have other UFC plays. Do you have any other plays you want to give the people for this weekend?
Yeah. So on top of that free UFC play, which is a good play, I have a PFL play for today.
All right.
PFL, yeah, that actually starts I think at 7:30 Eastern. But we got Shamil Muraev versus Murad Ramanov, and this is going to be a good fight. The first fight ended in a knockout for Shamil Musaev. He knocked out Romanov, and Romanov was actually, I think, winning that fight and edging him out. And Romanov, it's a typical striker versus grappler matchup. I tend to go with the grappler, but he did get knocked out in the second round in that last fight. So this time it's another 3-round fight. I think he could get through and not get knocked out this time and control the fight more, Romanov. And I think Romanov could actually get the win. That prop is actually plus 285. Romanov is, I think, 16-1, with that one being his loss against Musaev. So these guys' records are similar, and it's just too low of a line at plus 285 to give up. So that's another play. Murad Romanov by money line win at plus 285.
Big value there. I definitely like that as well. So that's a good one for the PFL. I personally do not follow the PFL, but if you're giving me a plus 285, basically a plus 300, I'm going to ride with you, and let's see how that goes tonight. I'm very excited for that fight and for the PFL tonight, because I know you have a full card for the people, which will be in the Moneyball Metrics Discord. Make sure you guys tap the free link. More to come on the Discord later, but make sure you guys get in there for free. Come check out the free plays, and if you like our plays, there's also the VIP option as well. Joe, before we get you out of here, we go into the baseball segment of the show. Any other insight you want to provide for MMA this weekend?
So there's not really much other insight that I want to provide. I just want to say that you can find all my plays in Moneyball Metrics. We have a couple big props, and that's my thing, is I hit props every single week, multiple props. Like I said, we hit plus 700 last week. We hit a plus 450. We hit a plus 350 and a plus 320, all in one UFC event. So that's why we were up so big. And if you like props and you like plus money and you like betting small and winning big, I'm the guy for you. So follow that at Moneyball Metrics. And I know it's not MMA insight, but it's betting insight, and you guys will win if you're with me long term. So on top of that plus 285 prop I gave out for free, we got a main event plus 310 prop that I think will hit tonight. So follow at Moneyball Metrics.
Get in the Discord, guys. Follow Joe on Twitter. You see his @ right there. He's one of the best, if not the best in the business. Joe, as always, you deliver on these Friday shows for us, giving the people what they need to have a successful MMA weekend. So we appreciate you, my friend. And as always, we will be seeing you next Friday.
All right, let's cash.
Let's cash. We appreciate you, Joe. All right, guys. It is now time for the Alpha JD segment, the MLB, and we are going to dive right into it. We have a little over 250 people here. People are tuned in, ready to go, and unfortunately, we have to start this with this Astros-Oriole game. JD, you read it perfectly yesterday. You said exactly how this game was going to play out, and you called a big money winner there. Unfortunately for me, I was on the other side, so I did not have a great read on this game, but you had a good read, so I give you credit there. Today's matchup, Hunter Brown on the bump for the Astros. He's 11-7 with a 3.8 ERA. On the other side, to me, it is the worst pitcher that the Orioles have. It's Cade Povich. Cade Povich is coming in 1-6 with a near 6 ERA. He has not done a great job as of late. JD, what do you got in this first one?
Yeah, as far as yesterday's game, that played out, just like you said, it played out exactly like I thought it would. The line to me just didn't make sense. And as far as today's game, really the handicap is really pretty much the exact same. As far as the pitching goes, the Astros, they have an actual they have an actual better guy on the actual mound today.
Yeah.
That's where the difference is between yesterday. So yeah, that makes me like them even more. As far as actually Hunter Brown, as far as the start of the year, he had a very rough start. But he's been pitching very well.
Absolutely.
He's actually given up two or fewer runs in actually 6 of his last 7 starts. So yeah, pitching very well. Then as far as the Astros bats versus actually left-handed pitching, the past 14 days they've been hitting extremely well. Pretty much in all your major stats, they are actually top 10, and actually basically every single one of them. And yeah, as far as the bullpens here, the Astros bullpen, they have the much better actually bullpen here.
Absolutely.
Like I said, I'm not going to really go into everything again because actually yesterday's game for me, it's really pretty much the same actually like thing. You can get the Astros, you can get them on the money line currently at -115, and I absolutely love that again.
Hey, man, I can see exactly why you would, and the odds kind of, to me, show that it should be the Astros as well. You take a look at Hunter Brown, as you broke down beautifully before. He's been great in his most recent starts. His last 2, they have won, and they've dominated those starts. They won 6-1 and 10-2. Also, Cade Povich, they're not winning games that he starts. He has a near 6 ERA. They're 1-6 with him on the bump. And this team has struggled against the Astros all year long. The Orioles lead the season series the Astros lead the season series 4-0. The Orioles have yet to break the code. And it just feels like the Astros are getting back to the old Astros. They're getting guys healthy. It looks like next week they will have Kyle Tucker back. They're out off the 60-day IL. They're getting Ryan Presley back, one of their better bullpen arms as well. He should be back also on the 29th. So within the next week or so, this team's going to be fully tooled, recharged, and making that playoff push. I know earlier in the year, a lot of people did not believe in this Astros team. They really struggled, but they did have a lot of injuries. They're getting back healthy. The team is now 69-58, and on the road, they're 34-29. They've continued to get it done. They've climbed back in the playoff race. They're in a playoff spot now, and they're competing to be one of the best teams in the AL. I think the Astros continue to get it rolling, and they have guys on this team like Jose Altuve, like Yordan Alvarez, that have been here before. They've tried to make these late playoff pushes, and they've been very successful. They're a very good team when it gets to late August, into September, into October. They are a team that always turns it on. So I'm in agreement with you, JD. I'm not going against you today in this one. I am on the Astros at -115. I'll let it out early. It's definitely going to be one of my best bets. Let's keep it moving right along to my favorite pitcher in baseball because I can never pronounce his name. We have the D-backs who are going up against the Red Sox. For the D-backs, we have Ryan something Nelson. He's 8-6 on the year with a 4.3 ERA. On the other side, Brayan Bello. Bello's coming in 11-5 with a 4 ERA. JD, I'd like to always point these out when we talk about it. Brayan Bello has a near 5 ERA, but he has an 11-5 record. That means that this team is hitting when he is pitching. He's been giving up runs, but they're able to produce when he has been on the bump. JD, what do you like in this D-backs Red Sox game?
Yeah, as far as the actual Diamondbacks go, ever since the All-Star break, they've actually been playing really good ball. They are a bet-on team. The Red Sox haven't really been targeting them as a side. As far as their overs, they've actually definitely been a good bet.
Absolutely.
They're starting to slow down some now. But that's not a team I'm really looking to bet on, though. As far as Nelson and then the actual starters here, I think they're about even. Nelson has been pitching well. It has actually passed few starts here.
Yep.
As far as the offense, that's where these teams really actually start to actually show differences here.
Absolutely.
The Diamondbacks offense past 14 days, their stats are crazy. I mean, they're batting .273, which is actually ranked third in the league. They have an OPS of 863, which is first in the league. And then they have a WRC plus of a 140, which is actually first in the league. So yeah, they're actually bats. I've been doing great. And then as far as the bullpen, there's the other big key here. you have an actual Diamondbacks bullpen. The last 14 days, they have an ERA of 2.59, which that was actually ranked 6th in the league. Then you have the Red Sox. I've been saying that their bullpen sucks for quite some time.
You sure have.
And the past 2 weeks, it hasn't changed. They actually have an ERA of 6.91. This is one of those, kind of like the Astros yesterday. I don't know why. I think the wrong team is actually favored here. I personally have the Diamondbacks priced at minus 132. So I can get them at a plus 114. So yeah, I'm actually going to have to roll with actually them here.
I respect that, and you guys probably know where I'm going to go with this one because we're going back to the alpha bread and butter, to the alpha well. And when you look at the total in this game, the over sticks out to me. So when you look at both teams, how they've done on the over compared to the under this season, Arizona is the second best team at playing games to the over in all of baseball. 58% of their games have cashed the over, and only 42% have gone to the under. Like I said, second best in baseball. Then you go to Boston, who is the 6th best in baseball. So you have two teams that are top 6 in baseball at getting games to the over. Boston is 66 and 52 at games that have cashed the over, 56% to only 44% on the under. So both of these teams have trended over all season long. It's the summer. The ball tends to carry in the summer. The bats have been hot for these teams, and I definitely anticipate to see runs in this ball game. The total is a little bit high. It's sitting at 9.5. If you watch the show, you know I usually like to only target totals in that 6 to 8 run range, but this is one I do think we are going to see some runs. Bayo's stats back up that they do score when he pitches, but he gives up runs as well, and this Diamondbacks team can put runs on the board. So give me the over here. Another one I'm going to let out early is going to be on my best bets. Let's keep it moving right along, JD. We have the Nationals who are visiting the Braves. Nationals are pitching Mackenzie Gore. He's 7-11 with a 4.6 ERA. Pretty disappointing season so far for Mackenzie Gore, especially when he was one of the staple trade pieces in their Juan Soto deal to the Padres years ago. He was the big prospect they got back. He has not lived up to the potential. On the other side, we have JD's guy, Chris Sale, 14-3, 2.6 ERA. He's been electric this year. He's back into Skeletor Chris Sale form, looking like the Chris Sale of 3-4 years ago. JD, what do you like in this game?
Yeah, I don't think this is a game here that I really don't think is even going to be close. As far as actually Sale goes, as we know, he's very good and he's back pitching very, very well. I'm actually not going to really go into that. But yes, he is pitching well. The Braves are starting to actually come around too now. I believe they're 4-1 in their past 5 games. They're 7-3. They're actually past 10 games. And actually, then you have Gore, and he for me right now is a straight fade. He has given up 4 or more runs in 6 out of his last 8 starts. And in those other 2 games there, he's actually given up 3 runs. Then you look at the Braves versus actually left-handers past 14 days. They actually have a WRC plus of 145, which is that's just crazy high.
Yep.
To me, the Braves run line to me is actually cheap here. So yeah, this is probably my favorite play. Braves on the run line at minus 120.
Like that a lot. You know what's something interesting about these two teams, JD? They've played each other 8 times this year. Would you ever imagine that the Nationals are 6-2 in the season series with the Braves? I would have thought it would have been reversed, but the Braves tend to play poorly against poor teams, and they play better against the better teams. It's just how they've played this season. To me, I'm kind of going a little bit off what you said. I do think the Braves are going to score here, but I do get a little bit worried that the Braves bullpen will give up some runs as of late. So I do agree that I do think this game will go to the run line for the Braves, but me personally, I am going to be playing the team total of the Braves over 4.5. Mackenzie Gore just hasn't been the guy this year. You broke that down perfectly. He's been a straight fade. And when you look at his win-loss record on the road, and his road ERA, it balloons even higher. He's 2-6 on the road, and he's given up a 5.06 ERA. So he pitches worse on the road. He's going up against a team that's starting to get it going. I do think the Braves are going to put up at least 6 runs in this game, so that gives us that 1.5 run variance, and I do think this will be an easy cash for us. I'm not going to lie. That is also going to be in my best bets. JD, I'm kind of ruining my best bet segment today because I keep saying what's going to be there, but there's the games we've picked today are the games that I love the most, so I'm definitely really going to be playing these games, and when I'm giving these out, these are absolutely going to my clients as well. JD, we have one game left for the week, and it is going to be the Cardinals who are visiting the Twins. Cardinals are pitching Andre Palante. Palante is 5-6 with a 4.07 ERA. On the other side, David Festa. Festa is 2-2 with a 5 ERA. Not the greatest pitching matchup here. Do you think we're going to see runs? How do you think this one's going to play out?
Actually, as far as Festa goes, yeah, his actual overall numbers don't look good. But I think he's actually not bad. And actually the past few games he's actually been pitching very well. He's actually given up two earned runs or even fewer in actually his last 5 games. But to kind of go back here, as far as the Cards go, they've actually won 2 in a row now. That's the first time they've won 2 in a row since you said yesterday. It's definitely been a while.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. And they still have a lot to show me. I don't think they so much, especially one of those games. They didn't necessarily, I think, win it. I just think the Brewers fucking sucked.
Couldn't agree more.
As you can tell, the Brewers have me kind of pissed off currently. So yeah, the Cardinals, they actually still have to show me a lot here. And yeah, as far as Festa goes, he's actually been pitching well. As far as the Twins offense, they are the much better offense also. Just for me, yeah, this is also an actual numbers play. I have the Twins as actually a much bigger favorite here. Instead of laying the juice on the money line, I'm going to take the Twins on the -1 line. And you can get them at -1 and actually -110. So if they win by 1 run, we actually push.
Excellent. I like to take those -1s as well for a little bit of security. Personally, if I were to play this game, I would take the Cardinals at the +125. They have won the last couple games. Their pitching has looked good, but I'll let this out early. This is not a game I'm going to have any action on. Man, JD, I got to get it in. We're at the end of the show. Sometimes, as we say on this show, the best bet you can make on a game is no bet. And to me, this is a game that I'm going to be steering far away because I have not been able to read this Cardinals team right all week. I've had a good read on them for most of the season, but in this week, I have not done well on betting the Cardinals. The Brewers really screwed me. I could hear in your voice how mad you are when you talked about them. Same way I feel. They've been a disaster this week. They have let us down. So for me, it is a no play. Not sure if that series was more reflective of how the Brewers played compared to the Cardinals, as you said, but yet again, to me, it has been a no play. But JD, we are about to get into best bets. But before I do go into best bets, I did just get a message from the owner of MoneyBall Metrics who is telling me that there is going to be a massive sale to join the VIP of MoneyBall Metrics. Guys, this is going to be posted directly after the show. You're not going to be able to get anything like this for the rest of the year. The owner just texted me. This is going to be the biggest promotion they're doing all year. I'm assuming this is going to be for football because we're right about to get into it. So if you guys like the work that we do, if you guys do like the MoneyBall Metrics team, make sure you stay tuned because there's a huge promo that's going to be dropping shortly. And JD, now is the time that everybody has been waiting for. It's time for best bets. You've been killing it. Lead us off. What do you have today for your best bets?
All right. I will go ahead and say the 4 games that we broke down today, I actually did play all of these. So these actually are plays. But to go with my favorite 2 plays, let's go back to the Astros and actually Orioles game. We are going to play the Astros there. Get their money line currently at -115. Then have to go back to that. Let's actually go back to the Braves game. Let's play the Braves. Let's actually play them on the run line. Actually, I'm seeing now you can get a minus 115 there also. So yeah.
Love that. Good plays there. And guys, I have a couple plays as well. My best bets are going to start with JD's as well. I have the Astros on the money line, currently at minus 115. Second play we talked about earlier, the D-backs, Red Sox. I'm taking that over 9.5. There's going to be runs and runs plenty. That should cash rather early for us. Third play is from a game we have not talked about, but you know I always got to give you guys 3 best bets, and this is my third favorite bet of the night. It is going to be the Kansas City Royals team total over 4.5 runs. We didn't break down that game, but we have Taijuan Walker pitching for the Phillies. He's been an absolute disaster in his last couple starts, and the Royals' bats at home have been good. We all know the splits from Bobby Witt Jr. from his road to home stat, so he's going to be significantly better because he's in that home park tonight. Give me the team total over 4.5, and those are going to be my 3. JD, we've had a great week of episodes. We've had a great week of guests. We want to thank everybody who hopped on. We had Jammer Bets. We had Moneyline Hacks this week. We've had some great guests, so we appreciate you guys coming in here, stepping up, giving the viewers some winners. And JD, it's about that time to go enjoy our weekend, watch some college football week 0 tomorrow, and cash some bets. Any words for the people before we get out of here, JD?
Nope. That is it.
That is it. We're going to cash these bets, JD. I know you're going fishing. I hope you enjoy, and everyone out there, enjoy your weekend. Let's cash some bets, and we will see you on Monday. Peace!
See you guys.